Okay, good morning, freshmen. Happy Wednesday. Today we are just going to continue talking about exposition, and we are going to focus on main idea, audience, and purpose. Those are going to be our three kind of focuses for today. These are all three things that we've talked about before when it comes to argumentative writing and poetry writing and stuff like that, but today we're going to kind of shift gears and look at these things through more of an expository lens. So the main idea of an expository essay is just the most important point that the author is trying to make. It's kind of the central idea that the entire paper is based around. So if I was writing an expository essay on the history of coffee, I would pick one specific thing that I wanted to focus on. So maybe that would be, the history of how grounds came to be the way that they are. Maybe that would be the history of different kinds of grinders, or maybe it would be the history of bean growers and like exporting goods to the U.S. for coffee, different things like that. I would pick one main idea, and every other thing in my paper would focus on that. So the main idea is really similar to your thesis. In an argumentative essay, think about your thesis, your topic sentences. That's what a main idea is in your expository essay. It's just the main focus, the one sentence or the couple sentences that tell the reader exactly what you're going to focus on in this paper. So your main idea is something that should be able to be summarized in a sentence or two, something that's really clear and concise, but also something that's broad enough that it can hold a lot of stuff underneath it. So if I was going to write about maybe the Beatles and their influence in music, I would pick one thing. Maybe I'd pick their international acclaim. Maybe I would pick their album covers. Maybe I would pick their different song lyrics, something like that. I'd pick one thing that I could write a lot on, but that's still focused enough that my reader's not going to get confused and wonder why I'm talking about a million different things. So the main idea, again, is just the main point that the author is making, the main thing they are explaining, the reason why they're choosing to write what they're writing. So when you're trying to figure out the main idea, think about a sentence that kind of encompasses what you're supposed to be learning, what this essay is going to be about, why you should be reading it. That's basically what the main idea is. And it is different from purpose because purpose is something that's more seen throughout the entire essay. So your main idea is one sentence that kind of talks about a topic, and then there's kind of a trickle-down effect where from your main idea you have a couple of branches of different paragraphs that explain different aspects of your main idea. Your purpose is one overarching thing that is really clear. So maybe if my purpose is in my coffee essay, if my main idea is talking about the history of bean growers, my purpose is going to be to demonstrate the way that that's shifted and evolved throughout history. So even though my main idea is the growers themselves, my purpose is demonstrating kind of how that's changed and grown. If my main idea in my music essay is the influence of the Beatles, then my purpose is going to be to demonstrate that they are a timeless band. So they go hand in hand, but they are different. My main idea should reflect my purpose, and my purpose should be really clear in my main idea, but they are still two separate things. So your purpose is why you're writing it, and your main idea is the main thing that you're choosing to write about, your main goal. And the audience is something that we've talked about many times. It's basically just the people that you're choosing to write this for. So if I'm writing about coffee, I'm not going to write in really little kiddish terms because little kids don't drink coffee. Teenagers really don't even drink coffee that much. Maybe you think you do, but if you're drinking lattes and frappuccinos, you're really not an avid coffee drinker. So I would pick maybe different language, stuff that's a little bit more intense, because I'm going to assume that my audience has the capability to kind of grasp that more intense language. If I was writing my Beatles essay, I'm going to write for an older audience. A lot of younger people honestly just don't listen to the Beatles. It's an old they're an old band. It's an old style of music. So I'm going to write more directed at people who were maybe alive during Beatlemania, stuff like that. So my focus is going to shift depending on who my audience is, and I'm going to write specifically to that audience. I'm going to use words that I assume that they understand. I'm not going to dumb language down. I'm also not going to use language that's maybe outside of their comfort zone. I'm going to write specifically for that audience and for their needs, and I have to keep my audience in mind if I want to do a good job with my expository essay. I can't write a strong expository essay if my audience isn't clear to me. So basically that's just what main idea, audience, and purpose are in an expository essay. Again, these are ideas that we've talked about before. They're things that have been made really clear about writing, but we're just looking at them when it comes to exposition. So that's what your main idea, audience, and purpose should look like when you're working through your expository essay. Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about evidence, language, and style, and then on Friday we'll talk about some final expository strategies so that you can prepare for Monday when you will get your final expository essay assigned, and that will be your final assignment of freshman year. So congratulations on almost being done. Finish strong. I miss you guys. I'm excited to see you all again in the fall, I hope. And yeah, that is it for today. Bye.